Hello, I'm Maruk Said, your microbiology guide. Let's explore in-depth micro techniques and uncover groundbreaking insight together on this educational journey into the fascinating realms of microbes.
Preparing bacterial glycerol stocks for long-term preservation. Table of content. Introduction, objectives, principle, procedure, precautions, practical video. Introduction. Bacterial glycerol stocks enable long-term preservation of strains, maintain cell viability over extended periods, reduce the need for continuous culturing, saving resources. Importance of the method, used in research labs for strain archiving, critical for reproducibility and continuity in experiments. How it works. Bacterial cells are frozen with a cryoprotectant, glycerol, to prevent damage. Objectives. Extend the lifespan of bacterial cultures. Simplify long-term sample management. Principle. The addition of glycerol stabilizes the frozen bacteria, preventing damage to the cell membranes and keeping the cells alive. A glycerol stock of bacteria can be stored stably at -80 degrees Celsius for many years and -20 degrees Celsius for several months. Glycerol reduces the harmful effects of ice crystals on bacteria, which cause dehydration and damage cells through a localized increase in salt concentration, leading to the denaturation of proteins. If you have watched till here, don't forget to subscribe to Family of Science Lovers. Press the bell icon button so you are always updated. Procedure. Arrange sterile Eppendorf's, nutrient broth, 15% glycerol, pipette, inoculating loop, and pure colonies. Work in a laminar flow hood, sterilize tools, and handle carefully to prevent contamination. Pipette 500 microliters of nutrient broth into each labeled Eppendorf tube. Sterilize the inoculating loop, cool it, pick a single bacterial colony, and add it to the nutrient broth. Vortex each tube to mix and incubate at 37 degrees Celsius for 18 to 24 hours. After incubation, add 500 microliters of 15% glycerol to each tube and mix thoroughly using a vortex. Freeze tubes at -20 degrees Celsius for 1 to 2 days, then transfer to -80 degrees Celsius for long-term storage. Label samples with strain, date, and details, and maintain a record for identification. Precautions. Work in a laminar flow hood to prevent contamination. Avoid touching sterile surfaces or tools with bare hands. Include details such as name, date, and strain. Sterilize inoculating loops by heating them red hot. Change pipette tips as needed to avoid cross-contamination. Use properly autoclaved materials like nutrient broth and glycerol. Ready to preserve your bacterial cultures? All right, let's begin. These are the equipment and materials we'll need. Eppendorf stands. Autoclaved or RNA-free Eppendorfs. 1000 microliter blue tips. A spirit lamp. Nutrient broth. A discarder. A Easer microliter pipetta. An inoculating loop. Pure isolated bacterial colonies. And 15% glycerol solution, which is made by mixing 15 milliliters of glycerol in 85 milliliters of distilled water, then autoclaving it for sterility. First, set up your Eppendorfs on the stand according to the number of samples you have. If you're working in a laminar biosafety cabinet, make sure everything stays sterile. And remember, avoid touching the grills while working to prevent contamination. Now, take your micropipette and add 500 microliters of nutrient broth to each Eppendorf tube. If you're confident with sterile handling, you can use the same blue tip for all the tubes, but ensure the tip doesn't touch any surfaces. If this is your first time, I recommend changing the blue tip for each tube to avoid contamination and keep the nutrient broth sterile. Once the broth is added, close the lids of all the Eppendorfs and label them according to the corresponding sample Petri plates. Next, we'll move on to inoculating the nutrient broth with our isolated bacterial colonies. Start by lighting the spirit lamp and heating the inoculating loop until it's red hot, ensuring the base of the loop is sterilized too. This step is crucial for preventing contamination. Before picking up a colony, cool the loop by touching an area on the agar plate where there is no bacterial growth. Then, carefully pick a single isolated colony from the plate using the loop. Now, take the Eppendorf containing nutrient broth and gently shake the loop back and forth inside the tube, ensuring the colony detaches into the broth. Re-sterilize the loop after each sample to maintain sterility. Repeat these steps for all your samples. Once all the tubes are inoculated, vortex them thoroughly. This helps to break up the bacterial cells and mix them evenly into the nutrient broth. After vortexing, place the tubes in an incubator at 37 degrees Celsius for 18 to 24 hours. When incubation is complete, before starting with cryopreservation, step using glycerol vortex each Eppendorfs. Take the autoclaved 15% glycerol solution. Using the micropipette, add 500 microliters of glycerol to each Eppendorf tube. Again, you can either change the blue tip for each tube or use the same tip if your handling is careful and sterile. After adding the glycerol, vortex each tube to ensure the glycerol is evenly mixed and coats all the bacterial cells. Next, place the tubes in a -20 degrees Celsius freezer for 1 to 2 days. This initial freezing step helps prepare the samples for long-term storage. Finally, transfer the tubes to a -80 degrees Celsius freezer for extended storage. At -80 degrees, your samples will remain viable for years. Make sure to organize the tubes in a small Eppendorf box and properly label them with your name, date, program, and supervisor's name for easy identification. And that's it. You now have bacterial glycerol stocks ready for cryopreservation. Stay sterile, stay organized, and your samples will be preserved for future use. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon button. Thank you!